Hey guys, what's up? It's Megan here, Team 3D Alpha. On my way to school and work, and figured I'd make a video on the way there. It's like a 10-minute ride, I believe, about wisdom. You guys know me, I'm in love with wisdom. I love knowledge, you know. I never consider myself as wise. I consider myself as a lover of wisdom, because I believe that somebody who's really wise is somebody who knows that he knows nothing and consistently tries to increase his knowledge. You can never know too much, you know. Knowledge is like shoulders. You can never have, you know, too big shoulders. But one key thing that I use in my journey for knowledge and wisdom that I want to share with you guys is what I call the law of the mentor. The law of the mentor. And I call it that because when you look at great people, that's my theory, that's my law. When you look at great people, do not just study great people, which is good. You should study them, you should study their biography. I believe that every great person that, you know, that's in the pages of history is a servant to us all, because now we can look back at their lives. You know, if they lived up to 50, 80 years, you can look at their lives and learn so much experience from their failures, from their mistakes, from their successes, and you could apply it to your life. So they're kind of like, instead of looking at them as kings of old, which they are, and they should be admired for that, look at them as your servants, your personal servants that literally come to you and mentor you on a daily basis. The only difference is you have to invest something called time. You know, instead of paying them with money, you pay them with time. You spend an hour or 2 hours in your day to read about Napoleon, to read about Hannibal, to read about whatever. Anyone that's achieved a lot of, you know, that's achieved a lot in his life is your personal servant. You know, just grab a book, their biography, or you could even watch a documentary about them if you don't feel like reading. But you know, it'll be a waste to let all that experience go to waste, you know. So I believe that every single day you should at least read a biography of one person, you know. But the most important thing that I want to emphasize in the law of the mentor is that don't just study the great, study the person who made them great. You know, a lot of times we look at the people that are remembered, but we don't look at the people that were behind, you know, the curtains. We don't look at the mentors. What do I mean by that? For example, Alexander the Great. He's an amazing person. Study him, but don't just stop at Alexander the Great. Study at the person that was behind Alexander. Study Aristotle. You know, the person who tutored him. You know, because I feel like if you have a great person's sources, you know, you have more available to them than just by looking at them directly. You know, look at somebody's sources. Don't just look at don't just look at the individual. Who's trying to cut me off? Always look at the person that influenced them, because you might be able to get something out of their mentors that even that didn't get out of it, you know. So instead of looking at Julius Caesar, for example, if you admire him, well, find out the books that he read, find out the people that influenced him. So that's one thing that I always do. Every time I find somebody great, the first thing I look for before even reading their biography is who tutored them, who mentored them, who inspired them, where did they get their knowledge from, you know. You know, that's how you go from one great person to another. Because a lot of times the people who contributed to history are not even remembered. They're just behind the curtains, you know. We remember the great generals, but we don't remember the people who taught them the art of war and things like that. So keep that in mind. You can apply that to everything. You can apply that to bodybuilding. When I look at a great bodybuilder, I don't try to look at his routine or his philosophies. I look at the people that inspired him. I look at his idols, you know, because that tells me that he copied from someone else, and I might get more out of his mentor than out of him. So when I look at Ronnie Coleman, I also look at Brian Dobson. I look at his philosophies, and I learn a lot of things because he influenced them. When I look at Dorian Yates, I also try to look at Mike Menser, the people that influenced him. When I see Phil Heath, I look at Henry Rambat. You know, always look at who's behind, you know, the puppet. Always look at the puppeteer. Always look at the mentor that's behind the scenes, and you'll be amazed at the stuff that you discover. So, you know, that's what I want to share with you guys. Hope that helps. If it does, give me a like. If not, I like it anyway. Team 3D Alpha, dominate your day.